Hey there, Matt Vanacoro from Ask.Audio here, and I am checking out the Yamaha EAD 10 drum module and microphone system. This thing is groundbreaking. I had a chance to play with it a little bit at NAMM, but now that I've had some more time to really get into it and see what it does, I've got a deeper understanding of what you can do with the EAD 10 system. So in essence, the EAD 10 is a microphone that you can clamp to your kick drum. You clamp this microphone to your kick drum and you plug it into this brain. This is sort of a modified drum brain from like an electronic kit type thing, but it just does so much more. So you clamp it, you plug it into the brain, and now you can mic your entire drum kit with one single microphone. So you've got this stereo mic that will actually work with this brain to process and do all this cool stuff. So at first, my first thought was, well, how is it going to properly mix the drum set with one microphone right there in the middle of the kick drum, especially if it's touching the kick drum? How's it going to, not have a snare drum that's 20 times louder than a cymbal that's far away? So it turns out there's some really intelligent DSP going on here, as well as some triggering. So the kick drum trigger is a microphone and a trigger at the same time, and also gives you the ability to use the trigger to trigger sound samples. So if you want to, you can replace your kick drum and go ahead and add in an electronic sound or just beef up a kick drum. So the possibilities are just endless. You can plug this in and use a drum set that doesn't sound so great maybe and beef it up in a live situation. If you've only got 2 channels or a couple of channels left on your mixer live and you're a drummer and you want to have a high quality drum sound, instead of just using like an overhead mic and that might not capture your toms as good as your cymbals and things like that, the EAD 10 is absolutely the solution. So, obviously the first thing I thought of is this going to replace multi-micing a drum kit in the studio? And the answer to that is, for the most part, no. I mean, you're still going to want to use your really expensive preamps and your amazing ribbon mics and things like that. But if you need to do drums for live sound, or if you need to record drums for social media, or if you're going to do drums with video, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't get an amazing, brilliant sound with the EAD 10. That's the thing, is that this thing is a Swiss Army knife. It's hard to pin down exactly what it's for because it just does so many things so well. Right away, if you're playing drums in a band and you want to control your sound and give just a pre-mixed, amazing drum sound to front of house, you can take the EAD 10, clamp it onto your kick drum, give them the stereo feed, and go to town. It's really, really unbelievable. The EAD 10 will record directly to the unit without even any external memory or anything like that. So if you want to just shed and practice, you can play along with tracks and record yourself. Layer them on top of tracks if you don't have drums in there. It's just unbelievable all the things this thing can do. Now you've also got a trigger for a snare trigger. You got a trigger input for a snare drum, so you can use a snare trigger and go ahead and replace your snare drum, amp up your snare drum, add a tambourine to it, do all kinds of stuff for those electric sounds. Or you can go ahead and use these 4 triggers as completely separate triggers. So if you don't want to get involved with adding and layering and stacking things on top of your acoustic drums at all, and you just want to send a mic feed to front of house and then get a couple of pads, you don't need a separate drum module. So this has a drum module built in. So you can use those, with straight up electronic drum pads and, trigger samples, trigger audio, all that kind of stuff. So it's really brilliant. You can use the USB port on the back to send this feed directly to your computer, and you can even get MIDI of your kick and snare and your triggers, so that's some pretty cool stuff. Or you can use the other USB port on the back to feed a mobile device and use that Yamaha Record and Share app. And it's pretty cool. It instantly takes over the microphone of your mobile device, so the sounds that are coming from this really cool, amazing condenser microphone that's on your drums. So this thing is the real deal. It really is. I know that at first you're like, how could this possibly sound good enough by putting one mic? But really the technique behind it is, time as old as time immemorial. Well, maybe not that old, but we've been using single drum mic and mono drum mic techniques for a while. Yamaha just added some intelligence to it and gave it a high quality stereo condenser, and then bam, all of a sudden you get a really amazing drum mix, better than most live bands can send front of house, even with multiple mics, in minutes. You clamp this thing and you're good to go. So the Yamaha EAD 10 is definitely worth checking out. You can hear some amazing videos, online of people hammering away at this and the quality sounds that you can get out of it. But really, it's just something you got to see to believe, and it's totally worth it. Check out the EAD 10.